Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode of GeekVerse Podcast. I am one of your hosts, the Quickscope, Taylor Field.
I am the prestiged Kirklin.
Yes, and today we are talking. I guess I should say spoilers just because, but it's
I
not
guess
really
so.
spoilers. Yeah, it's Modern Warfare 2 review. That's me and Kirkland kind of diving into the side quest for whenever this drops. It'll probably drop today, and you'll have another side
Yeah.
quest tomorrow or Tuesday. I'm not sure what the release schedule of those is, but yes, getting into the general programming. GV side quests drop weekly, and usually your host Dylan is leading the charge for those episodes with a guest chiming in on news topics, games we've been playing, all that kind of stuff. So definitely check those out. Other than that, we have a whole bunch of newscasts, our weekly geeks that are popping off once a week, and then the main news, I believe, is still a thing with all of us kind of joining hands in harmony.
Yeah.
Then
We're
we
holding
have
hands.
we're holding hands. Yeah, we have Travis Told Yous that are popping off every week as well. I have the Chucky finale that is ending this week, which is going to be good. And what else did I miss? We got a lot
Andor
of
review,
reviews. Oh
the
yes,
final, my gosh, the
final.
finale episode. Super, super excited. Well, I'm like sad because that show's so phenomenal, but
Mm-hmm.
I'm expecting a banger because that show
Mm-hmm.
is just gold standard right now.
Absolutely. Could not agree more. And then we got Avatar Retrospective that's coming down the pipeline. So we just didn't After
Oh, yeah.
9. Oh yeah, it's gonna be
I'm so
juicy.
ready.
Yeah,
Yeah,
After
after 9,
9
that
we
was
just
lots of
did.
fun.
That was very, very, very good. Yeah, shout out to everyone that joined for that. And leading into our Patreon producers, Aaron Brayton, April Darkness, Molly Big, Joshua Wright. You all are fantastic. Thank you for joining and supporting the show. We fucking love our Patreon producers. Damn rights we do. Make sure you join the Patreon because you get ad-free early episodes available there. And make sure you check us out on our website. GeekVerse.ca is our home base. GeekVerseCast is our Twitter. GeekVerse on our Facebook. And make sure you drop in. Oh, fuck. I'm sorry. I'm
Same time.
sorry. I
Same
didn't know you were
wavelength.
going
No,
there.
it's all
Yeah.
good. It's all good.
20% off Manscaped. Free shipping as well. You got to use the promo code GVPOD at manscaped.com. Products are banger. Just absolutely
Oh,
incredible.
yeah.
So I
Absolutely.
think that is everything.
That was speedy. I like it.
Yeah, so let's get into this. Like, just we haven't really talked about Call of Duty in depth ever. I
No,
think just like this. So
that's true, eh? Yeah,
yeah,
I
it's
was
been map packs and
I
stuff.
was I was thinking about that leading into this. It's like for all the Call of Duties I've played throughout the years, I don't think I've ever actually like reviewed a Call of Duty like ever. Like back in the day, in the PS3, Xbox 360 era when all your friends were playing Call of Duty after school or whatnot. And like I never really like just reviewed a Call of Duty game with friends. It's mostly like, oh, what guns are using here and there. But
Hmm.
like to actually just like sit down, have a long form discussion of like how you would rate the game overall, I feel like that's just such a abstract thing for me, which is strange because we've just played so many of them. Have you ever reviewed a Call of Duty before?
I for Geekverse, yes.
Oh, you have like
I'm
solo?
pretty sure I did a Black Ops 4 one. I'm pretty
What year
confident I
was
did.
that? That's an old one, isn't it?
Oh, that is at least like it's 5+ years. It has to be, because they
5
put
plus
out
4.
Blackout.
2018. There you go.
Yeah, I think I did a beta review of that.
Oh, forgot about Blackout. That was like their
Yeah,
first Warzone.
that was the
They were
first
like dipping their
Warzone.
toes. Yeah.
Yeah, it was horrendous. I didn't like it. The map was cool, but the fucking game mode was trash in there. But
Yeah.
yeah,
And I guess we
give it.
should say too, we're going to be dropping a Warzone review separate. So we're not going to really talk about Warzone at all. We're going to be recording that. I think you, me, and Dylan actually will in the near future. We'll
That'll
be
be
we'll be
the next
talking
episode.
about
Yeah.
that one. And so yeah, this episode is going to be contained to just the game, the people that drop money on it. Us. So yeah.
Absolutely. Well, kind of give us kind of like your intro thoughts then, like just Call of Duty in general, like in general, where you
Yeah.
started. It just like send a brief like cliff notes to where you are now and how you feel.
Date me. Yeah, well, I guess I guess technically like the first Call of Duty game I ever played would have been Call of Duty 1 on PC. It was in like that era that I had like Medal of Honor games and like all those like World War II games. I really liked as a kid. So definitely dipped my toes there in the first one, and then I think I played probably like Call of Duty 3 at like a friend's house on. I don't even remember if that was Xbox 360 or original Xbox, but something like that. And we were playing like split screen and just having lots of fun with it. And then like the first, I feel like like it really became like Call of Duty when you're playing online and popping off, getting kill
Hmm.
streaks and whatnot in COD 4. So that was Xbox 360. I think that was the first game I ever bought on Xbox 360. Actually, was COD 4. Again, just all my friends had it, so I was excited to get my fingers on it, and so much fun. It's such a great time. Again, like I was alluding to earlier, it was just in that like golden era of like all your friends had it, everybody would be playing online like after school or whatnot, and then I loved like the campaign and everything too. I know it's not like most people don't attribute that as like the highest part of a Call of Duty game is the campaign, but I really liked it back in the day. And then leading into Modern Warfare 2, the original one, what year was that even?
Was it like
2011
2000?
or earlier?
No,
2009 or way
2008
earlier?
or 9.
Oh, okay.
To release date.
I
Let's see.
I just remember seeing that like first E3 demo when they're on like that snow map with like the thermal. You remember it? It was just such a like cinematic like it was just a phenomenal demo that they showcased, and I was like overjoyed. There you go, 2009. That sounds a lot better. Yeah. And I just got so hyped for it. So that was one. I think that was like the first time I was at school and I sent my dad to EV Games to go pick it up for me like during school because I'm like I gotta get my hands on this game. It was leading into like a stat day too, so like we all had the next day
Mm.
off. It was just like a perfect converging of the spheres. And funny enough, me and my buddy at school. I know I'm just going on a story here, but that's what this is, story
Hmm.
time. Me and my friend Tyler, shouts out to you. We were like at school together, just so excited, like counting down the seconds till we can go home and play Call of Duty, essentially. And both of our parents like saw each other at EB Games because we like tasked them with going to get it. So they like met each other at EB Games, picking up the game. And yeah, I mean the rest is history. I just sunk thousands of hours probably into Modern Warfare 2. Got every single unlock because I was fortunate enough to get into one of
Hmm.
those like unlock lobbies where it just gives you like everything. And yeah, just play the absolute shit out of that game. And then I think I tapered off like a little bit after that one. I know I got I don't remember like the order of them. I think it was Black Ops, possibly the first one around that time. So I definitely had that one, and then Modern Warfare 3, got that one. And then I didn't get it for a couple years. And then my first game on PS4, it came with the bundle of Call of Duty Ghosts,
Mm.
the renowned least favorite game in the series for many people. I quite enjoyed it, but I don't know. Maybe it was just because it was like my only game on PS4 at the time. I just was forced to enjoy it. But long story or short story long, I guess, because I'm just making it long. um, that was the last one I actually had my hands on, and then of course, like the anomaly that was Warzone came out and just completely reinvigorated my love for the genre again. And I mean, you've said it many times on cast and off cast before. It's just like for how busy we are with our podcasting schedule, life schedule, work, all that stuff. It's so nice to just be able to like throw on like a multiplayer game, like however long they are, maybe 10 minutes or something. You can just pop on, get that like just serotonin rush when you're just getting
Hmm.
kills and just like the XP's popping off, the little sound that goes off when you level up. Like it's just, it hits the right endorphins in your brain. And, yeah, so I was wanting that. I think Warzone, they did a really good job too at sprinkling in those free multiplayer weekends because that really like it really got me
You
like, oh
indulged
man,
in those too.
yeah,
Yeah.
like they were fun. Like I was going on there, and then you just get on a little kill streak. It's like, man, like this is good times here. So, I was like borderline wanting to get Modern Warfare 2019. I think that
Hmm.
one was. Never bit the bullet on it. Warzone was good enough for me, but leading into Warzone 2, we were going on a couple late nights in Warzone. I was just having so much fun again, and once you start like popping off too, it's like, man, like this is like I'm pretty good at this. Like
Hmm.
I got to get back on the multiplayer scene and terrorize the leaderboards as I would hope to do. And so yeah, I pre-ordered Modern Warfare 2 in anticipation, and I mean, yeah, just general thoughts. I'm really happy with my purchase. I no regrets or anything like that. I just so much fun getting in there, and again, I feel like it helped a lot too that I hadn't played like the last few installments of the games because it just felt like a huge jump. Like I know I was playing Warzone, but like just I don't know, every little like detail in multiplayer. Or I think I was looking into it too. I think this one is the first on, I think it's the IW 4.0 engine, so it's like an actual like new engine. Also like on next generation console makes it that much more noticeable of a
Yeah.
difference. But I'm having so much fun with it. You and me actually haven't played online multiplayer together other than just
I
split
know.
screen, so
I
I'll
was
have to
hoping
get
you'd
on
stay
there.
up late last night because I kept the stream going for like another hour
Did
just
you?
playing
Because I was
online. Oh
playing.
yeah.
I was
Were you
playing.
really? No. Oh.
We probably fought each other. Uh,
Oh.
that's so funny. I didn't even think about that. Yeah, I was playing. I got my prestige as my name. Yeah,
Nice.
so I'm level 56 now. But I was playing that for a couple more hours afterwards, I think, and again, just having more fun. And yeah, we said there's gonna be a spoiler talk, but like I haven't actually beaten the campaign. I'm not sure if you have. Did you
No.
the campaign? No. Yeah.
No.
Okay.
But played enough of it to know.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I enjoyed it. I was playing it kind of until the multiplayer came out. But I don't know. It's not exactly why I was getting the game for it. I just want to go on there and pop off on the multiplayer. But yeah, all in all, like I'm having a lot of fun with this game, and it's definitely like reignited that passion for Call of Duty that I had, that I completely thought was just gone. It was been there, done that. Like I'm totally done with that game genre. But jumping back on. Yeah, I've been enjoying it a lot, and it's like surprisingly enough, I feel like a lot of people that I've talked to that are kind of just same thing with me. Like they had their golden era of Call of Duty back in the day. They're coming back for this one, and I think it is because of Modern Warfare 2. Maybe because it's like the first one on the next gen. I don't know. Like it's probably a bunch of different factors, but I was kind of surprised with how many people in my own like social circles that I just thought were done with Call of Duty. They're like, "Oh yeah, man, I'm so excited for Modern Warfare 2." Like just jumping back on there. Everyone
Hmm.
says like, "Oh, that one was my favorite." That was personally my favorite as well, Modern Warfare 2, 2019. So yeah, great time to be a Call of Duty player. I'll leave it at that. Pass it along to you, and I'm excited to unravel some details.
Yeah, for me, Call of Duty goes back to World at War. That was when it kickstarted for me going over to my
Oh
friend's
yeah,
house and just
Doctor on
seeing
Toten.
that was it.
Yeah.
That was the hook, just seeing the zombies modes. Oh, I was just so into it. And then going back over to his house before I had an Xbox, and he's like, "Oh, I got the new map. Sheena knew him." I was like, "Oh, this is so cool, getting to play these different
That one
maps and
friend that
stuff."
had the DLCs. Because if I remember correctly, I feel like you only needed like one friend to have them, or maybe I'm just remembering like going to a friend's house and playing them. I don't know.
I
It's
think going to a
many years ago.
friend's because like split screen,
Yeah.
all that stuff was like popping off
Yeah.
then. So, but
Oh, that was beautiful.
it was just zombies was it for me. That's the big kicker. So when I finally got my Xbox, I remember I saved up my money, birthday money, and still being young, not working yet. I picked up World at War, EB Games, and just went crazy. Got the map packs for it. Was just loving it, playing the multiplayer. No tomorrow, but I did go through back in the day. I did go through that campaign because if you wanted to unlock Naktar Toten, you had to actually beat
That's
the campaign.
right.
Yeah,
That's right.
so forced
You
my hand.
you reminded me of a story actually, because I remember after multiple patches for that game, it was just out. Like you didn't have to
Yeah.
beat the campaign. However, they did some like bug fixes on the Nazi zombie map for that one. So there was this one glitch that you could like glitch into the wall, and the zombies would have like a
Oh
barrier and
yeah.
wouldn't be able to get to you. So me and my friend, shouts out to you, Quinn, if you're listening. I don't think he is, but shouts out to you anyways. We played through we unpatched the game because we wanted to have access to that glitch, and then we powered through the campaign because I think that was the first one that had split screen co-op on campaign. So
Yeah.
huge shouts out to them, Treyarch. And we powered through the whole thing in one sitting, however many hours that took, and then we played like one Nazi zombie game, and we're just like so tired because we just played through like the entire campaign for like hours. It's just like, oh, that was cool, and then we just like that was it, and then he went home the next day. It's just like we went through that whole effort to be able to like access this one bug to just cheese zombies, and
I love
only there for
that.
like one game. But yeah,
That's
I completely forgot
fantastic.
about that story until you reminded me of it.
I mean, that's the thing back in the day. It was a grind. It definitely was a grind. And that's one of the few Call of Duty campaigns I've actually completed on my own account. After that, I it would have been Modern Warfare 2. I never got into Modern Warfare 1. I played it very minutely,
Really?
but I'm familiar with the storyline, but yeah, I never got into it. When I was at my grandparents' house, my uncle was visiting out of town. I was like, "Okay, Taylor, it's Christmas time. What would you like, Christmas? Let's go to the game store." And sure enough, this is right when Modern Warfare 2 came out, and the
Oh
shelves
my
are
gosh.
lined up with all these mint new copies for 360. I'm like, oh, I really like that. He's like, okay, and he grabbed it. I couldn't believe it. And yeah, he bought it for me, and yeah, this is when it just started after school. Michael Myers, everyone in
Oh
school was
yeah.
playing, and like we would get like the whole like full lobbies, just having a hell of a time. It was so amazing, and this is where I really started to teach myself certain things with COD, because this is where it really got kind of really in depth too, with different attachments and trying to do different objectives to unlock new calling cards, all that kind of
It was a
stuff.
major
So
jump. I think that was the first one that
mhm.
introduced like calling cards and specific even what are they called when you get like a buzz kill or something. It's not an
Yeah.
accolade. It's like a different bonus thing. Like that was the first game that introduced to it. It was just such a jump. You could make your own kill streak.
Absolutely. It was fantastic, the leap that they took. So doing Rust with quick scopes and throwing knives, that was
Intervention.
it.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. So that's where it really kind of like took took another leap and bound for me, because I thought, okay, I really want to hone in on this, because anyone can just grab an assault rifle and just start firing off like no
Yeah.
fucking tomorrow.
C58.
But
Everybody can
oh
grab
yeah,
that and get some kills.
yeah, exactly.
Shots on you,
So,
Travis.
so I want to master this craft, and I see the memes where, yeah, Call of Duty, where people with the LMGs hide and the snipers are the ones running around the maps. Like fuck, I love being that kind of that stereotype, but yeah, ever since then, I've indulged in like every single Call of Duty, and there's been some absolutely horrendous ones, but there's been some ace in the hole ones, like Advanced Warfare with the exosuits is one of my favorite Call of Duties to date. It's such an underdog out there. And there's, I think, Infinite Warfare. That one wasn't too bad, but again, futuristic stuff. Then we got World War II, which is just garbage. But then they bounced back with Vanguard. A lot of people hate on Vanguard, but I didn't mind it. I thought it was definitely like 2000 and sorry 2019's Modern Warfare a little bit more. Cold War felt like it was Black Ops, but just lesser than that. Black Ops 3 was fantastic. I really like Black Ops 3 actually. But yeah, there was a whole bunch of different stuff. Actually, I think it was Black Ops 3 that did like the zombie campaign. If you beat the main campaign, then you unlock the campaign again, but it's zombified. So you're going through and it's restyled with a zombie story, and zombies are coming at you and stuff, which is pretty cool. They always like boosted up the zombies in so many ways, and Black Ops was good for bringing back the old maps and the new maps and stuff, and then it got just too out to lunch for me.
Have you ever done a rankings of your Call of Duty games? I feel like that's something that should have been done, or like
I
in the past. I didn't even think
haven't.
about it till now. Like even for my own Call of Duty experience, I feel like it'd be fun to organize them in a list. We'll have to do that sometime.
I would be totally down for
I feel
that.
like I could
Yeah.
do it off the top right now because I played a lot less games than you, but I would want to stew on it a little bit because there's particular things from certain games that just totally boost my enjoyment. Like I feel like for me, one of my like honestly one of my favorites is that original Black Ops, because I didn't venture into the other ones, but just like the first time that you had like gun game, one in the chamber, that was such a great game mode too, and like it added a lot of cool stuff. That was a big like leap in the zombies game mode as well. I know it got even crazier beyond that point, but like at the time that was such a big deal. So
Yeah.
it'd be fun to do our Call of Duty rankings. Maybe we can
I'm
prep
so
that
in
for
for it.
our episode with Dylan. Maybe we can drop that list.
Yeah,
If he
24
lets
hours. 20. Yeah, if he lets us.
I know it's
24
his
hours is
show.
all I need. Yeah. I'm sure he'd be down to chime in with that too, because he's played quite a few of them as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, that would be pretty awesome actually. Um, Trying to think, like when it came down to when we started doing the podcast, like a lot of my high school friends after graduating, moving out here, I just don't keep in touch with them. So people don't really play that OG Modern Warfare 2 really at all anymore. So people moved on, life, other games, and all that jazz. Coming out here and meeting you guys, you were always the kindest about Call of Duty, and I appreciate your
I have fond
sincerity.
memories of it. Yeah.
Everyone else would just shit on me like Juju Beads and just hated Call of Duty whenever I bring up a new map pack or something like that. But it was so exciting
Oh
because I
yes.
didn't have anywhere else to vent this excitement. So finally, when we're in a position now where the whole podcast is playing, we played last night Warzone 2. I just
crazy,
can't
eh?
believe it. It is crazy, but I absolutely love it, because when COVID hit, it was like the best thing for Call of Duty. Like, I apologize if I'm being very
That's actually a good
rude.
point, because that's around Warzone release, wasn't it?
Exactly.
Oh
And
my
Warzone
gosh.
just was like popping off. Like everyone was at home, locked down, and Warzone was free. This was like
Yeah.
the bee's knees
That's
for
so
last
funny.
gen and new like next gen. So it was fantastic.
Yeah, because I mean, yeah, COVID was popping off, and then at my work, we were doing a split shift system just so that not too many people were like interacting with each other. So I was working from like 12:30 to 10 or
Hmm.
something, and my like crew that we were done with, we'd be done at like 10 o'clock at night, like I said, and then you just play. We're like, all right, we're jumping on Warzone till like
Hmm.
11 till like 3 in the morning or something, like every night during that span of COVID. That again, it felt like a year long event, even though it was probably just a couple weeks or months, but still, that
Hmm.
was I didn't even think about the timing of Warzone with that. That's
Well, it
hilarious.
was yeah, because I mean, I wasn't going to work. I was living at home, living the Serb life. So was Madison. So just this month and a half of pure, just not have to worry about work. I'm still making
Yeah,
money to survive, and I was super relaxed and just grinding Call of Duty. I was like, man, I'm back in high school. This is
that's
absolutely
true. Yeah.
incredible.
And at
Oh
that time
man.
too, I feel like no one really min-maxed Warzone, so it was just chaotic, and
Hmm.
like every game, like you didn't know what was gonna happen, So
Hmm.
I'm
Yeah,
excited to talk about the new Warzone,
I
on the
am.
next
Yeah,
episode.
yeah. But in closing, when we got to 2009's, sorry, not 2009, 2019's Modern Warfare, I couldn't believe it. I was astounded at how this just turned the genre around. Because leading up to it, I was definitely still on board. I was still playing it, but I wasn't in it to win it. And when we got to this, it was incredible. It felt great, and the nostalgia was definitely a factor here. But Warzone was definitely the main bee's knees, like we just talked about for it. That was just incredible. Cold War, Vanguard came out, so on, and then here we are, Modern Warfare 2. I pre-ordered this right away, Vault Edition, just like you did, and yeah, the multiplayer, everything about this so far has been incredible, and I can't, I'm just like hooked. Like you said, when you have that half an hour like spare block, and you just want to sit down and just get satisfied, this is the great game for it. Like it's perfect. So there's so many things that I can do, and it's all just thanks to all the different Call of Duties I've played, just kind of like adding these different skill sets to just getting to where I am now. And of course, playing you've definitely helped me. I don't think I ever operate without trophy system, period. So
Oh,
it's
my
helped
main
me.
weapon, yeah,
Yeah.
throwables.
Yeah. But yeah, so far so good. So where do you want to start with Modern Warfare 2?
um, I mean, let's just start with the campaign because that's where we started, I guess, in
Hmm.
classic Kirkland fashion. Let's start at the beginning. Yeah, because like I said, I haven't played through the whole thing, but that was the only thing out at the time. I think it
Hmm.
released like a week early to prior to multiplayer, and
Yep.
um, I like I said, I've kind of been out of the game for a while, so I don't know how the other Call of Duty like campaigns have been going. But like this one, it surprised me how cinematic it really was. Like every cutscene, it just seemed like I was watching like a show or a movie or something like that. They really just like killed it on like the mocap caption thing with the actors and everything, and just again like tying it into like the next gen. Like it just looks beautiful. Every cutscene, it just looks like real people to me. It's totally impressive what they're able to do with it. And I kind of remember this from like the old Modern Warfare games, but I mean I forgot about it when I was jumping into it, but it reminded me like instantly as soon as I was in the campaign how it just jumps from like different soldiers essentially or like different outfits. You
Hmm.
got I forget their names already because I haven't played the campaign in a while, but it's something like the SAS equivalent, and then you got like your private military crew or whatnot that you're going with, and again, like it's nothing like super like new compared to what the Call of Duty campaigns have done in the past from like what I've experienced because you're just jumping from like mission to mission. But for me, it was just it was a fun time. I feel like they're able to really just showcase like the visuals. Like again, like it just looks absolutely gorgeous with the
Hmm.
lighting effects and the shading and everything like that. Um, I like again like it's not like I'm playing like a Splinter Cell or something where like you can really play the game differently. It's still just like a first person shooter. Like the stealth mechanics are very limited in what you can do. But I don't know. I thought it was a good time. It was one of those things where like going into it, I think we had like checked some people's like initial reviews and it was like really I'm not gonna say like super negative that they're failing the campaign, but it was like what something around the 6 era. And for what I was playing, like I enjoyed it. I think I would have put it at least a 7.5, if not more. Like you got your classic AC 130 mission or something in there,
Mm-hmm.
and like for me that I love that back in the day. I was just playing on like hardened difficulty. I'm not sure if they had this in the recent games, but I saw they have like a realistic difficulty. That's new to
Mm-hmm.
me because back in the day it used to be veteran, which was the max. And again, back in those days, I would like try and completion everything, get veteran on everything. So I can imagine how difficult and annoying some of those like maybe AC 130 missions could be on those harder difficulties. But for me on like hardened, like I was just enjoying the cinematic experience that the game was giving to me. And like I said, like I kind of knew what I was getting to an extent because I've played Call of Duty campaigns
Mm-hmm.
before. So I think my expectations were in the right place, and I liked what it was. What about you?
Yeah, when it came to the campaign, like I played through a few of the missions in the first one. And I fell in love with it. Just the fact that it's so realistic and everything that's going on, it still blows me away that there's these holy shit moments where they do something in game. It's like, am I supposed to be watching this? Like, this is nuts what they're showing. And so when we get into Modern Warfare 2's campaign, yeah, you're right. We got the like a lot of these classic missions. You're in the gunship and you're doing like Overwatch and all these other things where you're in boots on the ground doing some awesome things, running through the mountains and stuff like that. And you're being chased by the like the local militia, local army, and there's so
Yeah.
many fun components that I'm just jiving with and I'm really enjoying. And then sure enough, you see Shepard, and I'm like, oh, I fucking remember this guy. Shepard is not to be trusted after the 2009's Modern Warfare. So, um,
That's kind of what I wanted to ask you too about those characters that are like reoccurring because they're different. Like they have different actors and everything on them, reoccurring names. Is that just like a fun thing? Like, oh yeah, it's because it's Modern Warfare. We're using these characters again. Because I mean, Shepard seems to be in a very like similar position than what he was, like General Shepard from the
mhm.
2009 one, and again, I haven't beaten the campaign, so I don't know if he has like a super big turn like he does in that first game. If it does, I feel like I would probably like that less because it's just they're like basically remaking a story that I've seen before. But from what's been going on already in the story, it does seem pretty different, even though we do have some familiar names in there. Is that what the Modern Warfare One game was like the first remake, like
I
recurring
have
characters?
that. Well, yes, there were some recurring characters, and I feel like it was much more subtle because when Modern Warfare One, again, my knowledge of the first one is very loose, but um, when Modern Warfare One came out, it felt like it was really trying to be its own thing, and then as Warzone came out and the seasons came out, I was like, oh, now they've brought in Ghost with Warzone. This is kind of cool. And they brought in some other characters. With the campaign was very much focused on these new characters that I don't personally recognize from the previous iterations. So
Okay.
I like that. It felt like it was a multiverse kind of tackle. And
Yeah, that's a good point.
this one too feels very different because in comparison to the campaign, I'm pretty sure it's a different missions and everything. But again, reoccurring characters, but in different contexts. Because I don't
Mm.
remember them doing these certain things at this time in the original Modern Warfare 2, but which is totally fine. Again, I like this multiversal kind of component to it. Like, oh, in this universe, this is going on. But I'm pretty sure Shepard, I haven't gone that far, but I'm pretty sure he does turn again, which is fine by me
Of
because
course.
he's just
Well,
he's a bastard.
I mean, again, we mentioned spoilers, but it happens pretty early on in the story that you're looking for these like weapons, and
Mm-hmm.
then like he just makes like a really sus decision, like no, just get rid of the evidence, essentially, like
Yeah.
just get rid of them. So
Doesn't
it's
matter
like
where they're from. Gotta
yeah,
figure out where they're
exactly.
going.
It's like pretty much insinuated that he's like what's his name, Jebediah from Iron Man 1, where he's
Yeah.
like he knows that they're just like selling like the weapons. And again, like I feel like that's not original. That's not an original idea. Like we've seen that happen. Unfortunately, it's probably happening like as we're talking right now in real day, just corruption and higher levels of government and whatnot. But for that character, it's very much just planting those seeds early on that he's got some sus things that he's a part of, and going forward. And I feel like again, like because I've played Modern Warfare 2, I just heard the name Shepard, and like before we even got into the story, like it was probably like the prologue or like mission 1, I was just like, oh, he's gonna have a turn, so I kind of already know that outcome. So like the multiverse thing is fun, but a part of me still kind of wishes that it was just completely new, like no reoccurring names or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like I love Gaz from COD 4, but just give the guy a different name. I don't know. That was one thought I had while I was going through the campaign, because unfortunately, as I was going through, I was enjoying what I was, like how I was playing. Like, it was fun going through the missions, because the missions aren't like the same. You're not in favela, although it's kind of similar when you're in like Mexico running from the cartel or whatnot. But anyways, it was this cloud over me while I was playing. It's just like I feel like I
Yeah.
kind of know what the story is gonna be. So maybe that's I don't know. I didn't read like any reviews other than just like the quick numbers that we saw, that we discussed going into or whatnot. So I don't know. It was just a decision that they made, and for me, it didn't hit the best. But for
Yeah.
you, it looked like it hit better with the
It is.
multiverse.
It definitely is. And like I do plan to steamroll through and finish the campaign because you unlock multiplayer, I think blueprints. You get one rifle for completing the campaign, then you
Oh,
unlock some
okay.
operators as well, which I'm a big sucker for unlocking things. So I'll try and
I
steamroll through it.
I was gonna say I did notice that as I was playing through the campaign more, I was unlocking some operators, so I kind of forgot about that. So yeah, I probably will make it through eventually. I told you my story where I was at. I was on this like house mission, and then I was about probably halfway or like 70% done the mission, and then something happened. I think I just like put my like PlayStation in rest mode or something, just like left the game open, and then somehow like the game crashed and it didn't like save a checkpoint.
Uh,
And that mission has an unskippable cutscene and like a really long dialogue sequence where you're like walking as a prisoner essentially. And I I like started going through it. I'm like, I don't want to do this again. And then that's when I think I told you the story off cast, but I think it was like 2 in the morning on like a Friday, and that just happened to be like when the actual game came out, and it like hit me. I'm like, oh, I could be playing multiplayer right now.
mhm.
Let's do that. So, fortunately, I could jump to that, but yeah, it was sad when a moment like that happens. Just unskippable cutscenes.
Yeah.
Why have them?
It's hard to justify going back and doing the campaign at times because you just when you get game time, you got to get that prestige. You got to
Yeah,
work towards it.
exactly. I am
So
prestige now
your
though, so I
prestige,
have all the
yeah.
unlocks.
Hmm.
Although now like they have the prestige out, so I could keep leveling up. Is it just like unlimited level there? I know I'm kind of jumping ahead, but I
No,
was
I think
curious.
I think I saw emblems for capping at like I think fourth prestige or something, which wouldn't make sense because I think you can go as high as like 10th prestige in previous
But
Call of Duty
you don't
iterations.
go like level 1, prestige 1. I'm like
No,
prestige,
you
but I'm
keep
level
going.
56.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so it'll rank up to like you're level like 155, then like level
Oh, okay.
255, that sort of stuff. How many
Interesting.
prestiges
I
are
noticed they went back to level
in two?
55 too. That was I think the original like max level in COD
M-
4, and
Modern Warfare
then
2 did 75, I think, wasn't it?
yeah,
Hmm.
I think it was yeah, something like that for Modern Warfare 2. But COD 4 it was 55. And then once you got max
Hmm.
prestige level 55, you got the gold eagle. That was like your rite of passage.
Hmm. Let's see. How many prestiges are there in here? I'm almost okay. So it goes up to prestige 5, unlocked to rank 250, and is the level cap until the end of season 1. So level 250 is it.
Oh my gosh.
Um, I'm getting close. I think like if I play tonight, I can probably use a token and get up to level 100 and maybe get second prestige tonight. That's my goal. Because
My
I think I'm
gosh, you're flying.
I know I'm level
What
89
level
or
are you right now?
something. I think
Oh
I'm
my
89.
gosh.
Yeah.
Crazy.
So it's just shootouts. It's just the fact that they
Shootouts,
added it is a
yeah.
great grind for guns and just doing like we're trying to unlock weapon skins too, which we've been talking off cast about it. My objective has been to get my marksman rifles all gold and then get the platinum skin.
Mm.
And I am working. I've just about got gold on my third one, and then I'm gonna have, I guess, yeah, a couple more because they added more with season 1, and yeah, the fact that you only have like 4 objectives to do to get your gold is nice instead of like 20 or 30 that they've had before. It makes gold a much more grind to
Yeah,
obtain.
I looked at that for the first time yesterday because we were talking about that again off cast of just how the
Hmm.
gold skins work back. Because back in the day, it was just based around headshots, I think,
Yeah,
for
like 20
camos.
prone, like 20 mounted.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly, something like that. So I didn't even look at it. It's just like I'm just gonna get in there and get kills and not really worry about it. And then just kind of swapping my guns out when they hit max level. I've kind of like gone back to some guns that I liked again to just try and because I feel like I still don't really know what my favorite gun is yet,
Hmm.
especially like getting the battle pass unlocks. Like I was trying out those guns, some really great ones, some really not great ones. So still kind of fine tuning where my my alignment lies, I guess,
Mm-hmm.
for guns. But yeah, just rounding off, I guess, our thoughts on the campaign and anything else to really mention there. I really like
Yeah.
the Mexican special forces guy that was with you. I
Oh
feel like
yeah.
I've seen him in like a show before. Again, like this is when they're using like real actors. He seemed familiar to me. And that one actually specific level I'll shout out here that I really loved was when you're like chasing that guy through like you
Oh
cross the border
yeah.
into the
Yeah.
states. That was such like a an intense mission, and I really liked that one, as well as I guess the grassy knoll, which mission when you're it's Gaz and
Yes.
Price. That was a really fun one too. It
Mm-hmm.
it, it reminded me of like a Ubisoft Ghost Recon game where I'm like trying to get the different angles to like take out the compound. Again, just it was a fresh take on the Call of Duty game like mission that I was used to. So shouts out to those two missions off the top.
That mission where you are going through the houses and stuff like that, and after crossing the border, when you go into some houses and like some people are like holding the gun, but then they drop it when you point it, and like you move away and you see them going down. It's like,
Oh yeah.
oh, don't, yeah,
Oh
nice
yeah, like to
try.
bear arms, bitch. It's
Yeah.
just like, why has this guy got a gat right now? And I'm like, all right, just America.
hmm I think it was kind of in closing to that level when uh the cops roll up and stop you and like holding you at
Oh my gosh,
gunpoint and
yeah.
just like, oh fuck, like yeah, we're held at gunpoint, and then this RPG comes out of nowhere and just nerfs the cops and like there's
Oh yeah.
bodies everywhere. It's like, ah, my jaw was dropped. Like holy fuck, like I can't believe that.
Yeah, they're
Oh.
like arresting you, and then the one cop's like, "No, these are the guys. Like these are the special forces guys. Like let them through." And then just the RPG comes. I'm like, "Holy shit! The cartel does not give a fuck." Yeah,
No,
that was
no, not
wild.
at all. Oh man, yeah. But yeah, I think that's it for campaign stuff.
Cool. Maybe we'll take our first ad break and then jump to more stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Right back. And we're back. Where do you want to transition to? Have you played the Spec Ops? Because I had some questions about that. I figured we could
Uh,
just bank it out quick if we both haven't played it. Because I haven't played it.
I haven't. I've only.
Okay,
I'm not
yeah.
even sure if it was Spec Ops, but I was playing with my cousin, and he set us up into a match with some AIs, and I don't know if it was Spec Ops or
I
not,
think
but
that is Spec Ops because going into it, I heard Spec Ops was back, which got me really pumped because that was a
mhm.
sweet addition from that original Modern Warfare, where you got to collect the or original Modern Warfare 2,
Get
when you got
like
to
three
collect.
stars.
Yeah, and your max was 69 stars. Love it. If you got all three on like all the different levels, and I was kind of expecting something very similar to that, but it seems like there's only like two maps that you really play on Spec Ops right now. Which again, they're probably like really elaborate with like different stages and whatnot.
Hmm
I was just kind of, I don't know. I don't want to say like put off or anything like that because it's like I haven't even played it, so I don't want to judge it until I really get in there. I'm excited to jump in there with you for it, but I was just a little bit surprised that they weren't like a shit ton of different missions that you do co-op. It was more just like two different situations, and again, like I said, they're probably pretty elaborate and like a lot of different objectives that you do, and they
hmm
really made it like next generation. But yeah, and unfortunately, I haven't dipped my toes in it, so I can't really speak upon it too much. But I was
hmm
expecting the 69 stars. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I wish I could speak more to it, but just what I didn't get into it
Yeah,
enough. It was just one multiplayer, man. That
going for
drops like,
prestige. Yeah,
yeah, prestige. Yeah.
right on. There you go.
Um, do you want to talk like ground war kind of stuff? Did you try any of that?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Let's do that. And then I
Um,
guess we got like perks too to like talk about because that's a whole new breakdown. But let's talk
yeah.
ground war first.
hmm Um, this was interesting because ground war was, I think it's still a relatively new kind of thing. I feel like it's Call of Duty's like match to Battlefield. You could say something like that.
It is Battlefield.
Yeah.
Essentially, it's like five objectives that you have to take, and it's just like the exact same layout as Battlefield, which like that's not a negative by any means. I
No.
fucking love that layout. That's another thing too, because you get 4-man squads in that.
hmm
Like you know, you have your huge team, which is I don't know, 64 players. Let's just say for argument's sake, and then you have like your specific 4-man squad. So a lot better if you could probably have your 4-man squad because it
hmm
is such a large scale. You probably need some coordination if you're trying to like really dominate at least certain objectives.
hmm
Um, and I don't have the most experience with Battlefield. I feel like the game I've only really played is Battlefield 1. I played the shit out of that game. And then Battlefield 4, I think I only played like the campaign. I didn't really play the multiplayer at all. But I don't know. It's a lot slower. Again, you could probably compare it to something like just Warzone, because you're not just running around on shoot house popping off
Yeah.
with your SMG or whatnot. And you really got to like strategize, and it's really really satisfying, honestly, for me, if you're just like holding out a certain zone and you just have like an onslaught of like enemy approaching, and you're just, for me, this again, I'm kind of comparing it to my Battlefield 1 experience. You're just like with your LMG like mounted up on this like one just kill zone. You're just like mowing down people coming, and it feels so much more like the stakes are there versus just running around, and it's just like, okay, I got 2 kills and I died, and I respawn, got 2 kills and I died. Like it's just a lot slower. And again, like I feel like I haven't hit the peak experience of it because I haven't played with you or like other friends yet with it. So I am excited to do that, but I'm so glad that they have this mode in here, because they had Ground War in previous Call of Duty games. And again, I'm just kind of pulling from like Modern Warfare 3, which was kind of like my last experience playing Ground War, which it was just team deathmatch and domination, so it would swap between those 2 game modes, but it was just like larger lobbies. Like the maps weren't bigger or anything, so it was just like really chaotic. I really like playing it back in the day because you could just get like kill streaks, like if you're going for like a nuke or something, there's so many people that you could like higher chances to get it. But I'm really glad that they took that Battlefield format, I guess you could call it, and I don't know, it's just like it's really cool seeing like a bunch of different maps like melded together. And I love this edition. Again, I haven't squeezed too much juice out of that giant orange, which is Ground War, yet, so I'm excited to do that. But I'm just so glad they added it in there. It's a great idea. They have the large scale maps already, because if I'm not mistaken, I think it is pretty much just like Al Mazrah, whatever it's called,
Yeah.
the Warzone map. But what about you with Ground War? Have you been dipping your toes in there? You cannonballing or?
Yeah, I did a few rounds of it, and I really do enjoy it. Again, when bots are introduced, not that it's a bit of a negative, but I feel like I can't improve my skill by playing against bots. I can improve my skill by playing against thinking individuals, like other players, to counter
Yeah.
that, like a
There's
game of
not all
chess.
thinking individuals on the multiplayer lobbies.
Yeah,
But
no, definitely not. So when it comes to Ground War, though, I reiterate or echo things that you've basically stated, where you have a point of interest, you got to hold it down. You could be in a tank, you could be just LMG, just going to town on it. It's
vehicles, yeah.
fantastic. Yeah, vehicles are in there, and the helicopters, heavy supply or choppers. That's what I got to use in Warzone last night that I really enjoyed. Those are in Ground War, which is super cool. So you just fly over the map, teams deploying out of there, which is great. When we talked about it, we both kind of like came to terms on this, like that we think Travis would really like Ground War.
You would, yeah.
Yeah,
Because
I
it's like Resurgence right now. He's like waiting for Resurgence. It's
Yeah.
like, if you gotta wait for your
You have it.
Resurgence, just jump in Ground War. Yeah,
yeah, yeah. So I imagine they'll do, if they do free weekends going forward, it'd be cool to get
Absolutely.
him in there. Just like, come on, it's Saturday night, Travis. Let's play Ground War. Let's do some,
He'd do it.
some multiplayer stuff. So, yeah.
He's stubborn. He'd probably be like, "Oh no, I don't want to do it." But it's like, no reason not to. Travis, get in there. It's free.
Yeah. There was one Ground War map that I was doing, and we had them right dead to rights at their spawn. Like right, you can't go right into their spawn because it's a boundary timer kind of thing, but you can kind of sit and camp on that line. So we just had like a
yeah.
wall of our team, and they're spawning, and we're just lighting them up. It was great.
I was probably on the other team because I think I had a Ground War experience like that. It's like, this isn't fun.
I'm trying to think anything else I have on there, but really, it's just it's
Yeah.
been a good time.
And like, because it is such large scale, I found I've like made Ground War classes that like I again, like I feel like, I have my different guns and whatnot, but like the setups are usually the same on like all the multiplayer. I have my favorite throwables. I've been trying to venture away, but I'm a frag guy. I love
Oh, I
tossing
know.
frags. Yeah, just timing that grenade. I fucking love that. So, but they've added some new ones I've been trying to try. The drill charge is something that I did not understand at first until I died to it like 3 times. I'm like, these kids are hacky. I don't understand what's happening. Holy shit, what an addition that is. But anyways, yeah, they've introduced some cool equipment. But for Ground War, I've made I got my launcher in there for when the VTOL comes in. I got to
Nice.
take it out. And I got my LMG, I got my sniper class, and just geared towards like that game mode. So again, I've really just dipped my toes in it, but I'm super excited to jump in there with you and just see what we can do, how we can terrorize the enemy in our
Yeah,
APC or whatever the hell we're doing.
I'm very much looking forward to it. Yeah, we need to get in there soon and do some of this stuff. I wish we did last night. It would have been perfect.
That's so funny too. I was like, should I message Taylor? I'm like, no, he's passed out. It's late. And then of course you're probably thinking the exact same thing as me.
Hello.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, we had some rough losses. Like I could get in
That's
here.
what
I gotta
that's
pop
what I
off.
needed. Yeah, I needed to get like the morale boost up, and
Yeah.
I had some 3.0 KDAs. It was looking good.
Very nice.
Um, okay, yeah, ground war. What are some like other like new multiplayer modes that they've added in this game? Because this is a question for you because I haven't played like the recent games, but
I tried just
they have.
a minute amount of the prisoner rescue.
Okay, I was gonna ask you about that one because I played that in the beta, and I don't really even remember like finding prisoners or anything. I think I was just kind of treating it like a different game. I probably only played it once, maybe twice, but really don't remember a lot of it. I was gonna ask you about the prisoner rescue.
Um, I don't mind it. For me, it's the closest thing I have to a game mode like in Black Ops where it was called Safeguard, and you basically escort this robot from point A to point B, and when you get into this other point, then you win. And this is basically, I would equate it as an equivalent to that. So that's good. I definitely enjoy it. But at the end of the day, I find myself I keep going towards like the other game modes like
Yeah.
domination, a hard point. I'm not really a what do you call it? Kill confirmed guy, but I
Oh yeah.
sneak it in there, just for
Yeah.
whatever.
Was headquarters in recent games? Because that surprised me seeing that again. I thought it was like the last one it was in was Call of Duty 4 because I don't think it was in the original Modern Warfare 2. I completely forgot about it until I was playing it. I'm like, oh my god, I forgot that you don't respawn if you have the headquarter. And that was a Call of Duty 4 game mode for sure. But I thought they got rid of it.
I don't remember it being in any other iterations except from 2019's Modern Warfare. It was in
Oh,
there,
okay.
and I really enjoy headquarters. It's a lot of
Yeah,
fun.
it's fun.
Yeah.
It's you get like a little bit of mixture of like I guess domination for like a single point, but that search and destroy element. Whereas like once you have it, like it's one life. You don't respawn until they take it out. So yeah, that one's fun to do. And yeah, for the other game modes, I've really just selected like team deathmatch, domination. I think I have kill confirm on there because it's basically team deathmatch. And then I think that's kind of it. Or Hardline. I think I have that one in there too. I must say it was kind of confusing at first, like how you even select the game modes. Like I was totally confused on like the general just UI setup of the menus. It was a little bit difficult for me to navigate at first. Of course, now that I've played it for many hours, I know how to do it. But I don't know. I feel like they could have just had a little bit. Not like a tutorial on how to use the menu, but just a little bit more clarity on like what you do. Because for the first however many games I played, I didn't know you could change the game modes. I'm like, I don't understand why you can't select TDM or something like that. Because some of the game modes play so differently from some of the other ones. So if you just think they're all together, it can really kill your enjoyment. I feel if you're new to the game, you're getting thrown in search and destroy, and you just want to play, but you're just getting bopped like right, left, and center as soon as the game starts, and then you're just spectating for the rest of the match. I really like search and destroy, but not all the time. So yeah, I think that's something that they could have made a lot clearer, and even just, I mean, we'll get into it with like the kill or not the kill streaks, the custom class, and how different guns are kind of even just made. I feel like that was very confusing for me at first. Now I feel like I understand it, but there's still a lot of things that I haven't really played around with, like the tuning. I haven't touched that at all yet. Yeah, but I guess I kind of just transitioned to like the the creative class. Do you have
Oh,
anything
that's
to throw on there?
perfect.
Yeah.
I'm basically just doing the same game modes you're doing.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's just always been kind of my default, and nothing wrong with that. I enjoy what I know I'm capable at, but as far as the classes go, I do not have my go-to assault rifle. Like it's probably the M4 is my fallback, but I need to spend some time and really refine and work away and get to know which assault rifles I'm going for. Like my pride and joy in Modern Warfare 2019 was a assault rifle that I swapped the ammunitions out to a 10 round mag, The damage was through the roof. This thing was accurate. Aim down sights, recoil control was on point, and this thing was like a two-shot kill. It was so good. Reload was super quick, and I'm trying to find that equivalent here
Mm.
because I've tried it with a few of the battle rifles. I love the semi-auto fire. You just can be so much more accurate, and you can
Dude, the Lockman.
outpace.
The Lockman, I only threw it on because I was trying to just, I think you get like another attachment or something by like
Mhm.
leveling up. And I love that gun now. It's literally like a two tap, and the
Mhm.
recoil is so like it's not non-existent, but it's very manageable. If you just have the timing down, it's just like shoot and then it drops right back to where it is. And if you have that timing, like you can just kill people like instantly.
Mhm.
And I've really grown attached to those battle rifles. And again, I've only really used the one, so I'm excited to try it a little bit more with them. But rifles in general is something that I really just feel like been lacking on in and like not because of their fault. It's just like I haven't really played around with them yet. Finally got that one sniper in the battle pass, so I was using that
Yes.
one a little bit more. But yeah, I definitely got to venture a lot more in the rifle and just across the board, ARs,
Mhm.
battle rifles, marksman rifles, sniper rifles, all that.
Yeah, like I said earlier, marksman rifles are definitely what I've been honing in on, and like when I start with one, I think, okay, this one's good. Like I gotta bump up the aim down sight speed and just the damage, and I can tell usually right away if this is gonna pay off as a good quick scoping rifle because it needs to aim down the sights before the other person does, and it needs to be an instant kill from like the waist up. Chances are I'm gonna hit you in the head, uh, but
Yeah.
the as I've gone along, I found like, okay, well, this one, like, I've gotten gold with this. This one was okay. And then I work on the next one. The next one's like, oh, this one's a little bit better. But then I think it's the SAH or the SAB. It's the third one I'm working on right now. This thing is amazing. Holy shit. I think it's
Yeah.
already pre-stacked with like a quick like ADS and like recoil
Is
control.
that the first one? Like there's a couple of,
I
because the
think
way
it's
that
like
the unlock system
fourth one
works.
over.
Okay, yeah, because it's like the SA208 was like the first one, and I was just trying to level it up to get access to those other ones,
Yeah.
and then I ended up just not really touching it anymore. I just like was trying out some other ones, but that's good to know because I think I was working my way towards the one that you're talking about, if I remember correctly. But like I said, I just kind of threw it on the back burner for now. But
It's
I'll get back on that leveling up of that gun train.
it's worth it. It really really is. I have two more I got to work at to get my platinum skin, but this one I just know I'm going to come back to it once it's maxed and I'm just going to just be using it as my
Yeah.
main quick scope rifle. It's so good. But other guns that I've been using, I haven't been using like pistols too much. I haven't
Okay,
used
you should. And I was very, very pleasantly surprised. I don't know if this is a brand new thing to this game, but I'm gonna shout it out. When you have like your AR or whatnot,
Mhm.
and then you have your sidearm, it is the coolest thing ever for me. But they have like a detail where like if you're shooting and then you switch to your sidearm, your character just holds his AR in
Oh,
his
to the
left hand,
side
and then he pulls out his pistol,
sidearm.
and it's
Yeah.
so fast. And the pistols like actually two tap people even if they're full health. It is insane. I
Oh
don't know if it's
shit.
all the pistols, but specifically the like the first one. I don't even know what it's called. The
Probably like an
P
M19 or whatever,
essentially, but of
M111.
course they have like their different names. It's like
Yeah.
M980 or something like that. But put on the the battle pass unlock. I think it's called the Jack of all trades. It's like fully loaded up with the attachments, and it's actually like a two tap. It has like no recoil. It's
Oh
insane. So
shit.
so try that out for sure. But that little detail that they have, I'm such a stickler for like those little details that they throw in there, and I love it. It was so immersive. So I great addition, Infinity War Call of Duty.
That's
Um,
good to know. I'll have to dabble into it and see what it's all about then, because I
yeah.
really don't use pistols in most Call of Duty games. It's never been my jam really.
Yeah, it's a legit two tap from like waist up. I think like it's probably even like the whole body. Like it's crazy how strong that thing is, and probably gonna get nerfed. I would imagine because I feel like a pistol like that it shouldn't be able to do that. But I don't know. It's just a lot of it is kind of new to me too because I feel like I got so groomed to like the war zone, how that works. Like I was messaging you privately when I first got the game. I'm like the time to death is instant. Like it doesn't make any sense, but kind of forgot that you have armor in war zone. So
Hmm.
obviously it's a lot quicker in multiplayer. But yeah, definitely give the pistols a try. I've only tried that one so far. I used the deagle like once, and I'm not calibrated for it. The recoil is just insane, and I can't really use it properly. But
It blows my mind when you see these people. They like cut the muzzle off of these pistols. They got like a ACOG sight on this fucking thing, or like a 5x5 magnification, and they
with the
pop
shield,
off. Yeah, all the fucking riot
fuckers.
shields.
Yeah.
I know we talked about this off cast too. I got into a game. I think it was just domination. The whole enemy team was all using shields, and it was so toxic.
Grimy.
When you complete that game and they win, and you get okay. I know you know what I'm gonna be talking about here. It like does the countdown timer. The game ends, and it goes into like the join lobby, and it's silent for that 0.05 seconds, and then everyone on both teams just pipes up, "Oh, you motherfucker! Oh, you like everyone just gets so toxic."
Right, shield using motherfucker. Yeah.
Oh, it's so grimy. And even Travis was again, not to get into Warzone, but he got into a queue with Warzone. He was playing with some other people. I'm not going to repeat what he quoted because they said some really bad things. But he's like, I fucking hate this community, and it's so toxic. It really is.
Yeah. And like with that being said, I will say I had like the most wholesome Call of Duty experience ever. In my first ever multiplayer match, like I said, this is probably like 2:30 in the morning on that Friday. First lobby I get into, like again, it's probably all like level 1s and everything because we're all just like brand new to the game. And there was these 3 guys, and they were like the most wholesome dudes ever. They're like, as soon as the game starts, they're like, "Hey guys, like I'm new to the Call of Duty game," and like they just sound like an adult, like a like an actual, not like a really whiny child or someone that's really angry and just gets aroused of pissing off people. But like they're just like, "Oh yeah, I'm really new, like if I look like I'm shit, instead of just calling me shit, how about you give me some advice?" Like that's what they're saying. And then like the other guys would be like, "Oh, don't worry, I'm really bad at the game too." And it's just like, and then like as the game was going on, they would like ask questions about guns. I didn't have my mic on or anything like that, so I wasn't able to join in on the fun, but they were like giving each other advice. I'm like, this is so weird. And like again, because it's my first ever multiplayer game, I'm like, is this what the game's like? Is it just is it completely different from what I remember? And then of course where we are now, no, it's that was an anomaly. I will probably never find those Moby Dick whales ever again. They were an anomaly. But shouts out to those guys. Just keep it wholesome, because although there's a lot of toxicity in the communities, no reason you don't have to be. You can be the change you want to see in the world. So
Absolutely.
it's a little advice for the listeners.
I only keep my headset on when I'm playing with friends when I'm talking, but if I didn't, like, I get very pissed. It's the one game where I get super vocal, and like I know. I pride myself on being a calm person, but there are times when I'm playing and Madison will walk in front of the TV, and I will not over exaggerate, but I if I die, I'll be like, "Fuck," and I will very much let her know, like,
Vote at her.
yeah, like,
Get the fuck out of here.
not like, oh yeah, like aggressive spouse or anything, but where she'll be like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to get away." I'm like, "No, it's okay." I now redirect my anger, like, "This fucking guy in the game just got me," like all that shit.
Good move, Taylor.
Yeah, just because it's
Take it out on your spouse.
No, it's no one's fault except just my own, just aggressive, embottled anger with this fucking game sometimes. But
Hey man, it's completely warranted. I feel like I take great pride in my stoicism, just keep it, what does it really matter if you get bopped in a game? But man, when you're in like a certain game modes, there's 3 riot shielders and you just can't fucking deal with them, and it's just like, I swear I'm spending more time in the loading screen, or not the loading screen, the death recap screen before I come back in. It gets to you. You can only handle that so much, and that's when you gotta just put the controller down, stand up, get some water, and just like recenter yourself. Because the sodium builds up, and like you said, I feel like I take great pride in. It's just a game. It doesn't really get to me, but fuck, there's sequences when it really does.
Oh yeah, when you're up against another team that is in a group chat and they're coordinating, you fucking know.
Oh yeah,
they lay it hard on you.
And I'll mute the game because they're totally getting to me with their words or whatnot.
Oh yeah, that's always one of the funniest things that they put in Call of Duty is when you kill someone and you get that like brief 4-second audio.
Modern Warfare 3, that's where they added that, and that is one of the greatest additions. So it's just like you kill someone, they're like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, it's so good. Holy shit.
And it's like everything that we were just saying, everyone in the Call of Duty community feels that, because I can hear it in their chat where he's like, "Again?" Those are the best when you're really getting the same person. And
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Fuck, and we've all been there. Like, it's
Oh yeah.
as a Call of Duty player, you'll always be there in that situation. You're gonna have those people that just have the fucking vacuum cleaner blasting noise in the background, like fucking
Three dogs
horrendous.
barking, a baby crying. It's like, dude, why are you playing this game right now? Like, go tend to your family.
Oh man.
And open chat too. Like they're not even saying anything. It's just like their room noise.
Yeah.
God. Yeah.
Holy shit, that's funny. Oh man, you can't make that shit up. You just play Call of
No.
Duty and you'll see.
And it's part of what makes it special, you know. Like it's I for me, I don't know. It adds to the enjoyment having all the chaos. Just the people arguing in the chat. Like I just kind of sit back because I don't interact with it. It's like when people are yelling at each other on Twitter or whatnot or whatever social media is gonna be around after Twitter. Like they're just barking at each other and like they just like feed into it, and it's just like I'm sitting back and like this is hilarious, but
Oh yeah, it's so good.
never change Call of Duty.
No, honestly, never changed. And this is definitely this community we have here. Like you said, people are coming back because they like those OG Modern Warfare.
Yeah.
So you get that OG kind of mindset mixed with the new mindset. So you get young kids that haven't played the previous Call of Duties coming in here, the older generation. And like when you have that at times when you're playing COD, you have that what sounds like an 8 or a 9 or a 10-year-old pop online. And you have these grown ass men like, dude, what the fuck? You shouldn't be playing this shit, kid. Like they say it to the kid's face, or not his face, but in his headset.
And they say that because the kid's probably popping off on them.
Yeah.
These guys that just worked a 10-hour shift at the plant. Just want to get some Call of Duty in and just getting bopped by these kids on summer break or whatever the hell it is.
Yeah,
I guess it's not summer break right now.
summer break,
Leading into winter
Christmas.
break. Yeah.
That's how it was. Again, maybe this will kind of segue towards when we ended off leading into the whole Warzone component. But when you and me, Dylan, Travis, like we do a whole week's worth of work, like, oh great, it's Friday night, 10 p.m. It's time to play, old school like Warzone 1. Get in there and you just get bopped. It's like, fuck, I just want to have a good night. I've worked 40 hours and I'm just getting just decimated. It's rough. So yeah.
How are we looking for ad breaks? We're creeping
We
up
have
to it.
one right in the middle there. It depends how much longer we wanted to go.
We could probably take our last ad break right now, and
Sure.
then I don't know how much we have left to talk, but probably not much. All right. So I mean, transit. I really wanted to just talk about like the whole new perk system and like the custom class system. It's nothing. Well, it is pretty different actually from the other games, specifically around like the different receivers that you can get on guns. And getting back to my point I had about like just clarity, like I feel like they could have done a lot better at just explaining how some of these things work. I get it because it's kind of complex and very new to the genre before. I don't think the recent installments had kind of what it is here with the different receivers that you can get on guns. So you can have a, I don't know, let's get like an M4, for example, and you can get different receivers on it to make like the M4 submachine gun or the M4 LMG, and I think that's really, really cool. I think that's an awesome change. It makes your freedom to get creative with your classes, just like skyrockets the ceiling of what you can really do on your different variants, I guess, of guns like that. But for me, I didn't even realize that you could like where you could find those until like whatever level I was at. Like it just really wasn't that clear. I was looking for like the AK-74U, but it's not like just there initially. Like you have to get the AKs, or it's not even called that. It's called like the cast off something.
Yeah.
So it's like the 7.56. And like it only shows that at first, and then you have to level it up, and then you get like the 5.65, and then after that, then you get the 74U, and then it's in the SMG column, and it just, again, like maybe I could have just watched a YouTube video to explain it, but I feel like I shouldn't have to do that. And even just like, I don't know, like how you unlock certain guns. I feel like it was a little bit confusing for me at first. Now that I like know where to navigate for it, I think it actually isn't that confusing. But I just think they could have done, again, like a quick little tutorial, like showing you it. And I mean, that being said, I might have just, me saying that, I might have just would like get me to the game. I don't want to like read through this. So maybe I'm eating my own words here, but. How is that for you to just like navigating the guns? And perks are a whole nother ball game that we'll get into after that. But
Yeah, when it came to the gun stuff, I found it extremely tricky, really, really
Yeah.
difficult to kind of latch on, figure things out. Even with the weapon tuning, like it's such a brief, quick little overview when you unlock it once you max out a gun's rank.
Yeah.
But for the most part, like it's such a minute little thing when you go to your loadout and you change a attachment, you just see the little icon for tuning right above, and you could easily miss that. It's just the way the
Yeah.
placement there, it's not great. When it comes to unlocking those other variants of guns, totally went over my head. I couldn't really figure out how to identify it, but in retrospect now, like you said, knowing what I know and just being able to maneuver through is great. I had my cousin James kind of give you the rundown too of just where to find things, how to do certain
Oh,
things when you
okay.
get the guns like upgraded to certain points, which is great because then I could figure out which menus to go to. But I'm still having trouble navigating some of the social progression stuff. Trying to like set my character customization, I guess, like calling cards, emblems, all that jazz. This is a little convoluted, but
Yeah. And they've like grouped all that stuff together. So for PlayStation, you just hit like the options menu, and then it comes up like your social menu. So if you have a party or friends online or whatnot, and then you hit like R1, and then it goes to your progression. And I think that's where, or maybe there's another tab, and that's where you can change your calling card, your icon. You can change the loading screen background. I don't know if that's only in
yeah.
Warzone, but that's pretty cool. And some other things in there. So and again, it's similar to like when I'm finding like a multiplayer lobby or like specific game modes. Now I really like it because it's all grouped and easy and like simple. Like I'm not gonna say simplistic because I was very confused initially, but it's like minimalistic because there's not like a bunch of different like subcategories of menus that you have to navigate to. It's just like okay, hit this button, and then you have all your social things grouped together. So again, like once you learn it, I feel like it makes sense, and that's what I was gonna even say with like the progression on unlocking weapons. Like now, if I go to my M4, I hit the touchpad on the PlayStation, and then it shows you like a branch of like, hey, you level up this, and then you unlock this gun, and then this gun, and then this gun, and then if I have a gun that's not unlocked, it'll say you need to level up this, like you need to get the expedite to level 7 or whatever, and it's just like okay, like that makes sense to me. But initially, like it was just so hard for me to find those things, and it just felt like I am not going to learn this, so I'm just going to play the game with this gun, I guess, and just worry about it later. So again, like maybe this is not like the best complaint even because now I do understand it, but it could have been explained a little bit better, in my own opinion.
Yeah, yeah, no, I agree. Hopefully they kind of it's something they refine because I think in previous Call of Duties it's been subject to menu changes and everything like that, and
Yeah,
just
that's
kind of
fair.
like easier access and UI and all that jazz. So
And like to give them credit, like how I was saying, like I do like how everything's kind of grouped now. It is cool because I think this is a jump from this game compared to like the previous MW 2019 and the other games that followed around the war zone. You would go to like that central menu, and then there'd be like the three, it'd be like multiplayer, campaign, and then war zone if I remember
yeah,
correctly. And
yeah,
now it's just kind of like in the main menu, and it just makes sense, you know, like if I want to go to ground war, just main menu, it's right there, click it. If I want to go to multiplayer, just like click it, and then I have like my quick play options that I have. And now that I know how the filters work, I can choose which games I want to choose. So for those reasons, it's like I'm giving it a positive and negative for the same point, but it is kind of like that because the barrier of entry is a little bit confusing, but then once you understand it does make sense.
yeah.
Yeah. Trying to think. Oh yeah, and then perks. That was another big change going into this game, and that's something that I mean. Now that I'm prestiged, I am gonna make some custom perks. I didn't even bother with that because you didn't have access to all of them at certain levels. The one that I really really love in multiplayer is Quick Fix. I'm not sure if you use that. Holy shit, is a lifesaver. So it's basically like if you're bopped, if you have 1 HP and then you get a kill, you're basically like healed. It's not instant, but like after 1 second, you'll just like get your health back. It is a lifesaver, especially in like shoot house and things like that, because there's so many stray bullets that are hitting you. So I love that one. Haven't really used too many of the other ones. There's some that are specific to just Warzone and multiplayer, like separate. Like I don't think quick fixes in Warzone at all. And again, we'll talk about the Warzone ones maybe on the Warzone segment of the show. But I do like how it's I do like the system how you kind of unlock them as the game progresses, and if you're popping off, like you'll get them quicker, which is cool. You know, it gives you incentive to do better. And I do like how if you join the game late, it's not like you have to like get through those hurdles to unlock it. Like if I join the game late, I just have access to them all. So that's cool. And again, like the way that they're broken down, I like how you can kind of customize. I haven't played around with it too much because like I said, I just got prestige and now I have access to all the perks, so I can kind of go wild with it. But that was another thing that was just confusing to me at first because it's like, well, is this a good perk or whatnot? I don't even know because it's just like a set like set perk. What are they even called? It's like a perk tree
Like
or something.
package? Perk
Yeah,
package,
there
I
you go,
guess?
perk package. So it's similar. If you don't know, an audio listener, it's similar to how you like make like a custom class. So you have like a certain amount that you can make, or just choose like the default ones, which is what I was using because I didn't know which the best ones to go with were. And I think I ended up just like watching a YouTube video on like useful ones there, and they did add some new perks. Like there's like strong arm, which shows you like the line of the grenades, which is funny because I love my grenades, but I actually really don't like that perk because I feel like I know the distance in my mind. You know, you've seen me with my grenades. I feel like I'm pretty decent with it, but like when it has the line in there, I'm just like confused, and I'm like I feel like like this makes me less accurate.
The game's wrong.
Yeah,
I'm more
but
accurate.
well, like maybe it's even because that perk also makes it so you can throw grenades farther. So maybe I'm like counting for like my basic throwing distance, but then this just makes it look like an fucking Uncle Ricky throw footballs over the mountains over there. So don't love that one, but there is some cool perks in there. And if I'm not mistaken, it's not like a pro perk system like it had back in the day, right? Where you would have like a perk, and then once you level up, you get the pro version.
Yeah, definitely not that. Yeah,
Yeah.
not that I've seen any indication for it. So
They didn't have Commando Pro.
no,
Probably for the best. That was a very toxic perk back in the
yeah,
day. But yeah, I am excited to play around with it a little bit more. I feel like the perks will be one of those things that honestly I probably keep the same perk on like every single class just because it's kind of like a play style adjustment more so than like a specific gun they're using. There probably will be one or two that I swap out. Like maybe I don't have hardline or not hardline overkill on all of them if I want to just have my sidearm or whatnot. But what's been your experience with the perks? Were you confused as me initially, or did it make sense to you?
I very much found it confusing at first, but once you play a few matches and you start to see how it works and functions, that's all set and it's perfect. All I needed was overkill. I needed to have my
Yeah.
two weapons, two primary weapons, and that's basically it. But yeah, being prestige and kind of being able to have a little bit more access to that is good because the packages. I definitely felt like it was weird to have them all the way up to that first prestige point because usually you can in previous COD iterations you can make those changes to your perks earlier on. Usually it's like when you start the game till you get to like level 5, you have like these basic preset loadouts that you work
Yeah.
with the perks and stuff. And this is different in this case, but it makes you grind and earn for that little customization, which is nice.
True.
But yeah, I'd love to eventually get off overkill. In some instances, I do, but
You gotta try the
it,
pistols, and then you'll fall in love with not taking overkill.
I know
'Cause,
that's what
yeah.
I'll have to do. Yeah, right now I've just been so much. I didn't even mention it, but like the shotguns, I think it's the Expedite, and there's like the Bryson.
Dude, the
Fuck,
shotguns
shotguns are
and
good.
the Lockwood, I think it's called.
Yes,
Unless that's the rifle.
that's
There's
the
one.
marksman rifle. There's a
Yeah,
Lockwood.
there's one. It's like that. I forget what it's called, but that shotgun. It's like a lever action.
Okay.
Holy shit, man, that thing is insane. So try that one when you try it out. It's
Definitely.
shotguns are so strong in this game. I didn't mention that at all. And same thing with equipment like flashbangs. I feel like again, it takes me to the Skyrim intro when it's like you're finally awake. Like that's how I feel every time I get flashbanged. And didn't shout out the shock sticks. I think that's a really cool one too. Has some cool effects too in Ground War and Warzone, like not disabling them, but makes them like kind of veer out. So that's really cool.
Yeah, the shock sticks was definitely a nice. I mean, they've had kind of stuff like that before, but a nice addition. I guess, in line with the perks and just the attachments or like equipment, the what do you call that? Is it like the gear, the drop
The
shields,
field upgrade.
Yes, field upgrades. Thank you. Yeah, this is the first time we really had the use of the exploding decoy, like the balloon decoy. So getting
Like the
that,
fake dude.
the fake
I
dude,
love
yeah.
that. It's just like when we used to, or you love the strategy of like spray painting like the silhouettes on the walls, and like it
Hmm.
worked. But now it's even more so. I remember the first time I found one, I'm like, what the fuck is this guy doing here? He's just like crouched. It really, because I didn't know that it was even a thing, and then I like sneak up on him, shoot him, and it just like blows up. I'm like, what the fuck just happened there? So
Hmm.
that's a sweet adjustment there. I like it. Mind
It
games.
is.
We saw it showcased in our Warzone game last night. That
Oh
got
yeah,
me
I got the clip
so many
saved.
good
I'm gonna
laughs.
I'm gonna
Oh my
pop
god,
it
you're gonna have to
in.
post it.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. When we do the review, I'll play it live for
Okay.
us
Yeah.
to watch. But yeah, it's just Call of Duty is just it's a game where it's the corner of your eye, like quick motions, like
Peripherals.
your
Yeah.
peripherals. Absolutely. So when you zip around that corner and you see that buddy there, and immediately you're gonna hone in and shoot, and that's when you pop up around the corner, sidestep out, and just bop you, and it's so satisfying. It's so good.
Your
I love it.
proximity chat, like surprise, motherfucker.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, it's good shit. I really
Right
like the
on.
field upgrades.
I
They're
really
really
like them
nice.
too. That was something like it was added in the games that I didn't buy. I obviously saw them in Warzone. I really only used like a handful of them, but DDoS, that is a phenomenal field upgrade because
What
it's
does that even do?
so it disables equipment. So if there's like C4s or anything like
Oh.
that, it EMPs, and it's basically an EMP in a range. So if there's people with like red dots, it disables the red dot on it.
Oh
So it's
shit.
really valuable, especially on multiplayer, because not only does it do that, but it'll tell you when there's certain amount of devices in the area. So all of a sudden there'll be like 4 bars, and then if 3 are filled, there's going to be 3 devices in the area that you could DDoS, whether that is a claymore, whether that is whatever it might be. And if you EMP a player, like it'll tell you EMP player, so then you know that there's people kind of around you.
Mm-hmm.
Really, really valuable one. I found. Again, I haven't tried them all. Like I haven't played around with it too much. But I like them a lot, especially now that I'm a higher level. I can have like 2 in a game. I don't think you can. I don't think they stack, but you can just have access to 2. So
You
that's
can have
nice. And then
access to two,
after
yeah.
your glorious performance with the deployable decoy thing, I started taking that one for some mind games, and it's honestly worked because I've just like I'm not gonna say camping. I'm gonna say strategically overwatching an area. That's probably a better terminology. I threw like the deployable cover in like an area where it looks like someone's kind of like peeking,
Nice.
and then I'm like scoping out another one, and then all of a sudden it like pops off. I'm like, oh shit, okay, and then change my aiming. So it's awesome, and I don't know. I love games that implement mind game type mechanics like that. It's so fun for me. I feel like that's just such a beautiful thing for me when it comes to PvP. Is at the end of the day, like you said earlier, you're playing against real people, so it's not about like it is quick time like that, but it's all the mental. It's mind games, whether you're pissing off the enemy team or whether you're just getting under their skin with your fucking riot shield tactics, or you're just cheesing with some deployable decoy individuals. I love it. That's something I absolutely adore when it in the PvP genre. So
Absolutely. Have you used the smoke screen at all? Because that's something I've really enjoyed using, like the smoke drone, and it just is like a linear line that you can create of just complete smoke, and you can
is it
pop
a
the
field
thermals
upgrade
out.
or a
It's a
kill
field
streak?
upgrade. Yeah, field
Is there a
upgrade.
kill streak one though, where it just smokes the map, or am I just thinking of the field
In
upgrade?
in MW 2019, they had like a napalm, which was like all smoky and
Yeah, well,
everything like
that's
that.
murder smoke. That's
So
what that is.
yeah, but as far as I know,
Okay.
it's just I haven't tried all the kill streaks, but I know this is
Yeah.
a field upgrade.
There's so many of them. Yeah.
Hmm.
It must have been the field upgrade that I was thinking of, because again, like I was mentioning, non-lethals are so strong, and that includes smoke. Like holy shit, when the smoke is on the map, I feel like I'm in like Predator movie. Honestly, I'm like I don't know what's around me right now. This is terrifying. But I love that they've like I feel although they're strong, they're all strong. So it's balanced in that sense. Like it doesn't matter if you're taking a shock stick or a flash or a stun. Like back in the day, it was like if you're not taking stuns, you're wasting your time because it just like immobilizes an enemy. A flash, it just like you blink and it's kind of gone. But like they really feel powerful, and it's the same thing with the lethal equipment. I've never died to so many grenades in my life, I feel, because it's like I am out of the range of that Semtex, and then I just like I go flying. I'm like, holy fuck, okay, no, that has a big explosive range, and again, maybe that gives a lot more importance on battle hardened, I think is the perk, where you take less damage from lethals and non-lethals have a less effect on you. I took that one as soon as I could because man, the like the equipment is just so strong in this game, and
Mm-hmm.
I like that change honestly because I feel like it should have a big effect. Now, obviously, if it's borderline OP, I wouldn't want that, but yeah, I really like how all that stuff works. And kill streaks, as you mentioned, I haven't toyed around with all of them, but I really like the ones that I've gotten so far. I've gotten one chopper gunner that was satisfying. What was your highest one that you got? I find because I'm prestige now, I have access to all of them. I added the AC 130, the infamous ass
Nice.
clapper 130. I don't even think it's called that anymore. It's called like airship gunner, but still, in my eyes, it's the ass clapper 130. Shouts out to Chris Move if you know who that is, famous
That's
YouTube
very
streamer.
nice.
Yeah.
I use the airstrike is just super handy just to whip that out, and it's quick 5 kills. Then after that, 2 more
Right.
kills, you get the VTOL. Very nice because a lot of the games I'm doing are objective based, so I love to just
Yeah.
pop that out. It's very handy. And then I think it's 2 or 3 more after that, but chopper gunner. I love just getting
Oh
the
yeah.
pilot seat, and just
So
zip
good.
around, pop off a little bit. I don't set Juggernaut just because I think
That's
I'd set it
corny.
if I was
Come on.
going for it. It is corny, yeah. Like if I
That's a good
really
point.
wanted to
Yeah.
grind for it, then I'll go for it. But other than that, no. I need to be fast and be on my toes. Air
Yeah.
support's the way to go.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I added the AC 130, but I used to have the cruise missile. I feel like it's a lot less effective than what the Predator was in Modern Warfare 2.
Hmm.
It just seems a lot sluggish, and I feel like it's a little bit harder to navigate. Still really effective, obviously, but initially I was taking the SAE. That's a really good one because you get 3 strikes.
Yeah.
So powerful, especially on those small maps. And then you get the VTOL. I think it was just basically a Harrier, and then I think Chopper Gunner was my last, but I just changed them last night, so now it's a lot higher. It's starting at I think 8 kills, which is the VTOL, and then Chopper Gunner, and then AC 130. So haven't gotten them all yet. I'm going for it. I got really close last night, and then some fucker with a sniper just domed me, unfortunately. But
Are
credit to
there
him, better
dogs?
player. No dogs.
No
No, I
dogs.
saw
Okay.
that. Yeah.
Fuck. They can be so brutal.
Stealth bombers are insane. Holy
Oh.
fuck! It's like a carpet bomb, man.
Yeah.
It's like I swear it's like 70% of the map. On some of the maps, like it just absolutely just mows everyone down.
Hmm.
So yeah, shouts out to all of that. But that being said, I don't know. Do you have anything else to say? I was gonna quickly mention just like. Again, in classic fashion of a game, on first patch, there was some like buggy things going on. Not anything egregious. I feel like I didn't have any crashes, which is really good. That can happen. I'm sure that happened to quite a few people. Just everybody getting on those servers all at once, and then the game's just not jiving too well. But most of my cons were just kind of like the menu thing, how like hard it was to
Yeah.
navigate, and yeah, just like not too clear on like what I have to unlock. But again, once I figure that out, it makes sense to me now. And the recoil, that was something that was very surprising me going into this game. Again, it's on the next gen consoles. It's on like a new engine. So I really, again, I'm such a sucker for realism and immersion. So when it has recoil, a lot of people will probably complain, I can't fucking control my gun. Well, get better, like, so I loved it. It was something so noticeable for me when I was playing the beta of just how those guns jump. I'm really trying to get used to the cast off because it's such a powerful gun. I know it translates really well to Warzone as well, because when people are armored up, you want those heavy rounds to just mow through it. And if you can control that, get like a quick three shots around the head area, they're just down like instantly. So really trying to hone in on my feel of the guns and everything. But honestly, like even Dylan was mentioning this last night while we were playing Warzone, how like it feels a lot sluggier than what previous installments feel, which I think it is true to an extent, but I love it. It just feels a lot more realistic, and I don't know, like your movements are a lot more important as opposed to just kind of cheesing with your movements. You can do the dolphin dive now and slide, so that's sweet that they added both of that in there. But with the movement, the feel of the guns, everything around just navigating my character, I'm really satisfied with it. So huge shouts out to them for just making the game fun to play, because that's at the end of the day, that's the most important thing is moving your character around, using the guns and whatnot. So I like it.
Yeah. Honestly, I'm gonna drop a number rating on this and go probably 8 out of 10. The 2 points
Yeah.
are just for the fact that the UI at first was super hard to kind of self teach and just kind of
Yeah.
learn, understand, and even then, like you mentioned, figuring out the guns and all that kind of stuff, how to unlock the other variants and everything. It was very tricky, and I'm still trying to figure out like where my blueprints are half the time. I know where they are, but it was tricky at first. But
It's better than the previous game, I'll
it
say.
is.
Is the blueprints thing? Because before it's like I got this gun, but I'm never gonna fucking use it because I have no idea where it went. It
Oh
would
yeah,
show you all the
fuck.
blueprints, but it wouldn't show you what you have or what you don't have. So terrible
Yeah,
system. I'm glad
it's
they changed that.
atrocious. Yeah, but the game overall is just it's so fantastic. I'm addicted back into Call of Duty here again. This is exactly what I've been waiting for and wanting for ever since 2019's Modern Warfare. Everything about it is just such a refreshing experience. I can't wait to see the more seasons come in. I can't wait to see the new maps, the content, everything. I love the grind. It is such a good
Yeah.
time. So everything about this is fantastic, and I can't wait to just yeah. We need to start playing. We need to play some.
I know,
Yeah.
absolutely, yeah. I'll drop a number rating too. It might not be a perfect rating because we haven't played all of the modes yet, but still, initial thoughts. I'm gonna give it an 8.5 out of 10, so a little bit higher than you. It's just I was so blown away with how much fun I was really having jumping back into it. I knew I was gonna have fun because I was having lots of fun with Warzone and all that stuff, but still, like it really is capturing that feeling of like this is why I love these types of games. Like just getting that rush, the endorphin rush of, of getting the kill streaks and all the audio cues and like I said, like the way the guns feel, it's really satisfying. I do like when they feel a little bit more like Battlefield, a little bit more realistic. So all that stuff's great. Battle Pass kind of changed the way that you unlock it. I do like how it feels like I can kind of choose where I'm going my
Yeah.
progression towards. So that's fun. And yeah, it's just a killer time, man. I'm so glad that this is a very enjoyable and they nailed it, because so many people are coming back to Modern Warfare 2. It didn't let me down, and I can't speak for everyone, but I feel like a lot of people are feeling that same magic that the Call of Duty's bringing. So
I think so. Yeah.
beautiful,
Cool.
solid
Cool.
review, man.
That was fantastic. Yeah, good first Call of Duty review of all time. Hopefully, many more to come. But yeah, we'll be back with Dylan to talk about Warzone. That's a whole nother can of worms in itself.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Exactly.
that'll be. I think this week we'll be getting into that. So yeah, any last minute things you want to add before we sign off?
I don't think so. Let's get out of here.
All right. Thank you for tuning in, everyone. Links below, all that fun jazz, and we'll see you in the search bar.